Hi everyone, welcome back. Okay, so part 2 of getting this canvas going. So, I'll just move my head. Okay, so you recognise the canvas now. What I've done here is basically included some text just to help you think a little bit more and get you to start completing the canvas. Now, one thing I would recommend is finding a way that works for you. So you've been given the blank canvas purposely to print if that's how you like to do things. I'm very old school like that, and I quite like to scribble things down. When I'm completing canvases, and generally speaking when we do this activity on the ground, so to speak, we will use post-its. Post-its are your best friend when working with canvases, particularly in the early stage. The reason being that it helps us to just kind of get rid, adapt, move things around as and when needs be. So we're going to go through each element of this section, each element of the canvas. And the idea is that once I've gone through each of the sections, that you'll take the time to then start completing the canvas with your own ideas, with your own work. Okay, so as I've said a few times, we start in the middle. So, how is your work contributing to academic communities, to society, to industry? Who is affected by your research? What is it you're creating, and what problems are you solving? What are the benefits of what you're doing here? Why is it important? Okay, all questions to ask yourself. And again, this is just about what you're doing and why you're doing it. So it's really trying to focus in on the benefits. Alongside that, stakeholders. So who are the key stakeholders in your research, and what's the strength of the relationship to them? Who directly or indirectly benefits from your research? And don't be afraid to think bigger picture. Sometimes our reluctance to almost talk about how our research is impactful and valuable to people is this reluctance to go that far without having that proof. We're schooled and taught not to do that, particularly within academia, because it's all very evidence-based. So the effect of that is often a kind of holding back until we have that concrete evidence. So I'm asking you not to forget the importance of evidence and scientific inquiry, but just to think big picture, think about why. Who is this connecting to? So how are different stakeholders connected to the project? Do they behave differently? Will you have different channels of communication, different methods of communication? So what I suggest here is that you approach completing these elements of the canvas initially with just in the form of a brain dump. Okay, sketch it out, free write if you like. The idea is not for you to produce an absolutely perfect canvas at this point. It's more about just dumping all of that information, and then once it's all there, you can start seeing the fit between the different sections, perhaps what needs a little bit more work, a little bit more refinement, perhaps more resource on that side. So again, key terms: stakeholders, relationships, channels. Flipping that onto the left-hand side, key activities. Okay, what do we need to deliver the value to stakeholders? What resources do we need to deliver the value to stakeholders? And who is central to this? So have we got, do we need particular participants to make this happen? Are there particular industry partners that we work with? Is it a particular primary care trust? Is it a particular firm who perhaps has some machinery that you need to use? Who's in the team essentially, or who do you need in your team to make this central part work? Is it an advisor? Perhaps your PhD supervisor is absolutely integral. So again, thinking about how these different elements make sense together. So you've got a blank canvas. Do this whichever way makes you feel comfortable. In the resource section, you've got links to an online platform called Canvanizer. The only issue with that, with the free model, it doesn't allow you to change the heading titles, but as long as you're not precious about that and you want to create a digital version to come back to, I would recommend that. You've got a PDF version, so you can just start sticking over digital post-it notes, or again, you could be a bit more old school and want to actually sit and write things down. But the idea of this stage in the activity is to start completing the different sections of the canvas, but don't do it with a great deal of thought right now. It's just about getting as much information as you can down, and then once you finish, stepping back to see perhaps are there any missing elements, are there bits that you really need to put a bit more thought into, or to look outside and speak to somebody about to complete this. So give it a go, get started on the top end of your canvas. Remember, start in the middle, then go to the right part of the canvas, then go to the left. Good luck, and I'll see you soon.